Oh, this one.
This is a topic that I've talked about on the podcast occasionally and sometimes on stream, but overall I feel the entire lore and situation around Boogie2988 over the last like 5 or 6 years has just been incredibly sad. But there was a documentary just released about him, which had Boogie's stamp of approval, his blessing. A documentary filmmaker by the name of Mike Klum spent the better part of like 9 months filming Boogie and going over cataloging his life. I've watched a lot of documentaries throughout my 29 years on this space rock, and I feel like until the moon falls out of orbit crashing into the earth, just as Roland Emmerich predicted in the classic Moonfall movie, I feel like this will remain one of the most perplexing documentaries I've ever watched, because I don't know why Boogie would agree to it. It makes him look so bad.
I took women on vacations, and I took them out to fancy dinners, and I took them to like Disneyland and shit.
I'm not going to show you all the main components of the
What?
documentary.
I can't watch that. Sounds kind of interesting, dude. Shut up.
I just want to focus on 2 core ones here. If you're at all interested in the story of Boogie2988, I highly encourage you watch the whole documentary here. It's probably...
Because I don't even blame him. I don't even blame him, okay? The reality is, with his looks and his level of fame and money, at least at the time, okay, brother, girls are there for his money regardless, okay? Might as well fucking take it for a spin and actually go for it. I mean, can you really blame him, dude? Would you rather him getting fucking led on for years and trolled and whatever the fuck and milked over time, or just do it straight up transactionally? There's no problem with that. Fuck that shit. I don't care about that.
Looks at anyone I've ever seen. Boogie is just an open and honest book here that's a little bit hard to read from because it is pretty eye-opening stuff. But anyway, his fall from grace on the internet is an extremely well-cataloged downfall. From the repulsive, awful things he said in the past to his manipulative tendencies and his behavior, all of it has led to Boogie going from a well-respected content creator to basically a joke, or someone that's looked at in disgust for his behavior. So, for those that don't know, Boogie is an OG YouTuber who was absolutely at the top of the game for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
He won a fucking award for being a nice guy in the gaming community, basically. They used to call him the Mr. Rogers of the internet. But then, Twitter and Reddit happened, and Boogie had this inability to shut up. He would constantly publicize the most foul opinions that he had about situations. He would always talk about the saddest and most depressing aspects of his life because it felt like he was addicted to being viewed as a victim. It felt like he loved the feeling of people viewing him as pathetic. And it's something I know he's touched on in the past that even has a level of self-awareness where he also recognizes how detrimental it's all been to his career and just downright self-destructive. But he just can't stop himself from just posting on Twitter every single private thing.
Guys, I don't even... You guys say you to everything these days. Everything about everything. You guys say you to every video and every day. We can watch a video about a serial killer. You guys just say, you lol, you lol, you lol, you lol. Yo, dude, how about you fucking take your pants down and go jerk off, motherfucker? Stop looking at me, bitch ass. Okay, you are dumb. You. Look right there, look right there, look. Oh my god, hold up, chat. Wait, chat. Right there. Is that Bozo the Clown? Hey, hold up. Look right there, look. Is that Bozo the Clown right there? Look, it's the clown, look.
That should never be publicized to strangers because he seems to just be enamored with that attention that he gets when he is viewed as like someone to feel sympathy for at all times. And it's just a really weird and sad set of circumstances. However, after watching the documentary, I'm starting to believe he is just not a good person. I was always under the impression that very deep down is a caring individual who had a good heart and good intentions and just got a little lost and confused along the way. But after seeing this and all of the worst aspects of his life that he just proudly highlights here, I just really am starting to think he's just not a good guy. So the first thing I want to show you is his addiction to sex workers. He has spent a pretty penny on paying for sex, as well as paying...
Okay, I take it back. Okay, guys, am I allowed to take it back? Yes, I take my earlier take, I take it back.
For like vacations.
Because that's too far. That's too far.
To accompany him, this and that. And it also gives an insight into the way he views women, which I think is a pretty repulsive perspective he has on a lot of it, at least from what he describes here. And one thing that becomes instantly recognizable is his sense of entitlement, which becomes a prevalent point throughout this entire documentary, where he believes that because he was a successful YouTuber, anything he wants, he deserves. He should get. He isn't.
Chad, you know what? This I feel like from what I've seen in the past is one of the hardest things to get out of is entitlements. Entitlements feels to me like it's something that people rarely get out of once they're in that kind of hole or deep hole. That makes sense. You can say you, but out of a lot of things that I have, a lot of problems that I have, entitlement's not one of them. It's just not. I have the exact opposite. I have a massive amount of imposter syndrome, which is quite literally the opposite. It's like I deserve less on purpose. It's like an automatic. And I've talked about this for years. I've talked about this on Mr. K twice. I talk about this on a daily. I have imposter syndrome. I feel like I don't deserve almost anything that I have, which just makes it hard to go forward. But inherently, it's not a bad thing because I could have entitlement, which is even worse.
Entitled to it.
It's not a revelation. I like beautiful women. I like to hang out with beautiful women, fuck beautiful women. We all do.
xQc.
I never got to do that. The women I dated were pretty, sure, but they were like Arkansas 8s, not LA 10s. With sugaring, I got to fuck some LA 10s, and I think that's cool. So I deserve to go to Disneyland with a beautiful girl, right? I deserve to go to New York and explore Times Square with a beautiful girl. Right? Like, I deserve that, and I want that, and I've never had it.
Why do you deserve that?
Wait, okay, no, this is weird. Hold up. No, this is really weird. Chat, he seems kind of stuck in that hole at that point.
Because you filmed your 20th Francis chugging Mountain Dew while pooping his pants and putting popcorn in a microwave video? Like, what? It's such a deranged mindset that he believes he is entitled to all of these women wanting to slobber on his meat because he is a famous YouTuber. He shouldn't be settling for an Arkansas 8. No, he deserves the LA 10s. So he pays for sex.
Bro, he's a West Virginia 2. What is he talking about, dude? What the fuck is this?
Because Boogie deserves that top shelf pussy with the pinky out. And to me, this audacity is alarming. To me, this screams that he only views women as objects to be conquered sexually. He shouldn't be settling for something that's an Arkansas 8. That's beneath him. Have they looked at his subscriber count? No. What he deserves is the LA 10s. So he gets into the sugar baby.
Guys, I'm a Quebec 16. Shut up.
She's definitely a little thicker than I necessarily would always go for, but there's nothing
What?
wrong with that. I'm a 48-year-old man. I never got to fuck a model. This let me fuck a couple of models. Is that wrong?
A very important lesson to learn is nobody is entitled to anything other than a knuckle sandwich.
Yo.
Sandwich if you start calling me short. I'm kidding. You'd probably still beat my ass. But the point is, you don't deserve anything. To speak here like you deserve these women, you are entitled to these women because of your online success, is so delusional. And speaking of delusion, him criticizing the lady for being thicker.
Remember the day when I said that you don't deserve anything? This is something that I meant. It's cool if you hear it back.
Would normally go for is just downright ridiculous and absurd. It just really seems like with the way he speaks about women throughout the documentary, he just views them as sexual props for his own pleasure. Really, that's the most important thing when it comes to women for him. He doesn't want to be caught dead with an Arkansas 8. Instead, it's all about the LA 10s, so that way he can fuck them. And that's what he cares about most when it comes to women. That's the impression I get listening to him talk about it. Now, this portion of the video isn't necessarily just focusing on his sex worker spending. It's talking about his reckless spending in general.
LA 10s, it's a dangerous game. Guys, I'd never go for LA 10s. For them, there's always better. That's unfortunate. Unfortunately, that's how it is. When you get an LA 10, there's always better, hotter, richer than you. Always that will go for them. So it's a very unstable lifestyle to have and try to go for. It's really dangerous. You set yourself up for failure with this one. Anyway.
At the height of Boogie's career, he was making so much money. Tons and tons, oodles of doubloons. And now, fast forward to today, he is fundamentally broke. He doesn't have any money to his name left. So it's going over where all of it went, and a large chunk went to paying for sex workers, as well as like gift cards that he would give them, which is crazy. When they broke down the financial spending, $500 was allocated for gift cards, which is a weird gift to give someone, and like $1,000 for a purse.
What is it?
So I guess
what is it? Does he just like end the date and go to fucking go to CVS and buy Steam gift cards? What is? I don't even like Sephora cards. I don't even know. Chat, can you guys even hear me? Oh my! I'm gonna shut this off. I'll be right back.
Give them like a purse with like a GameStop gift card in there. Like, hey, go get yourself something nice, toots. Maybe a couple Pokemon card packs, huh? Yeah, maybe a new video game or two. Like the whole thing is just all about his spending habits, which has left him in a financial crisis. All of which is his own fault, which he also recognizes. His entire career's spiral into the shitter is entirely his own fault. From not being able to stop saying the most awful things you could imagine during streams, to not being able to stop himself from posting the most private things about his life online, to not being able to stop himself from spending money on collectibles, a bunch of luxury items, terrible investments in like crypto, which he lost like $600,000 in. All of it is his own fucking fault. And when he talks about himself and like his health struggles and a lot of the other things that are personal to his like day-to-day life, he speaks as though it's already kaput. Andrew really summed it up best. When Boogie talks about himself, he talks about himself as if he's been dead for 30 years.
Yeah, that's what perspective does to you. Really, it really does. If you fall from heights in either money or whatever, right? It's hard to accept. It's hard to accept the new reality. It's difficult, and I think Boogie that's tough though. It is.
When he speaks, he's speaking as if he's already 6 feet under in the grave, and he's like communicating as a force ghost, like, man, I wish I took better care of my body. That's something he speaks about in the documentary with his girlfriend, who's 29 years younger than him, and he starts to recognize that in 10 years, she's only going to be 30, and he might just be dead because of all the health problems he has from not taking care of himself. And he just speaks as though there's nothing he can do to fix it. He's just like, damn, I should have put more time into fixing my body a long time ago. You know, it's already over. When he can start now. He can still start doing that now. He can still fix his career now, work towards improving his career. But he just doesn't. He refuses to. He just speaks as though he's completely given up, which is another thing that becomes very clear in this documentary, where even though he feels this sense of entitlement, he feels as though he doesn't have to work towards anything. He just deserves all of these women. He deserves all of this money, all because at one point he was a very successful YouTuber. It's a fucking baffling and infuriating mentality to witness in this film. Now, the next thing I want to showcase here, and the last thing that I'm going to focus on in the video,
this is interesting. I kind of want to watch the documentary.
Him getting another job, because YouTube has been collapsing on him, and the documentary filmmaker suggested maybe getting another job. It's also something everyone else in the world has suggested to him, getting a real job. And so he finally decides to go through with it and do like a mock interview to see if maybe he can find a position somewhere in the working world.
Dawn.
Dawn, I'm Boogie, or Steve.
Okay,
Yeah.
what do you prefer to be called?
Honestly, probably Steve. Let's go with Steve.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Whatever you prefer. And so you are here today because you are seeking employment.
Yeah. I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. I am disabled, recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside to that is I am extremely depressed. So there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically, I am morbidly obese. I have no
brother, chat, guys. I know this is a documentary, but dude, what the fuck? So he's physically disabled, so he can't do anything, and then he has a lot of mental health struggles. Guys, that's very difficult. I mean, that's kind of GG. Like, you're just, I can't. I'm gonna get canceled, dude.
No work history and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife, and I'm also a pedophile. Should mention I'm also a felon.
When I first saw this clip, it wasn't in the documentary, it was floated around on Twitter. I thought it was just part of a skit. I was blown away. I was like, damn, Boogie's got some real acting chops now. He's really been hitting the thespian troupe out there training. I was like, damn, kind of a fire, comedy sketch. No, this is real. This is authentic. This is more real than my 3-point jump shot. This is actually how he conducted himself during this interview. Now, of course, this isn't a job interview per se. It's to try and help find him work. But he goes in here and just intentionally sabotages it. This is not as though he's really taking it seriously. He's taking the piss.
It's not really. I don't think I agree with Charlie on this. I think being more forthcoming than less is good, because you don't want to be introduced in something and then be like, oh, GG, waste your time. You know, that doesn't make any sense. It's better to be more forthcoming than under.
Here, if you ask me. And that becomes extremely clear because after the fact, he says that he can't just get a real job or anything. He has 4 million used to.
Guys, this lady, from what I understand from this, is not somebody who gives him a job. She finds jobs for him. She's like a guide, right? She's like a job scout, right? So him being forthcoming is very important, because what if he doesn't say he's a felon and then she gets him a job somewhere and they're like, oh, well, by the way, we don't hire this, but GG, then he has no chance. It doesn't make any sense. Being more forthcoming is good.
YouTube subscribers, a job is beneath him. So I feel as though he went in here and just intentionally wasted her time and his time. It's in the time of the documentary filmmakers, because this is just, no one would do this, to go in there and say shit like this, talking about if you Googled his name, you'd find out that he has rumors that he beat his wife or that he's a pedophile. Like, what the fuck?
Okay. What's the nature of your felony?
Aggravated assault.
How old is it?
About 2 years.
Okay. So I think there are some avenues you could explore. I definitely don't think it's impossible, but you have some challenges.
Yeah.
Lots of things in life are about your mindset, and you're using weight and disability. I can't. If that is the attitude that you're going to have when you approach everything, then you can't, and you won't.
I did work in the porn industry for the better part of 7 years, so I mean...
Be real with me. Do you really think it would be a good idea to go to a real interview and reference porn?
It depended on the job.
I love that she immediately picked up on what everyone else on the internet has also picked up on over the years. She nails it immediately. His mentality is, I can't, just giving up on everything. That is how he's approached everything online, yet still feels a sense of entitlement where he shouldn't need to put a whole lot of effort into YouTube or anything. People should just be giving him money for existing. She picks up on that mindset right away. That's how clearly he wears this on his sleeve. It's his whole personality of just feel sorry for me, and here's the reasons why you should feel sorry for me. And it's super upsetting because it doesn't have to be that way. Again, he's still alive. He can fix things, work towards things, improve things if he wanted to, but he fucking refuses to. And when the lady does say, like, hey, look, you know, it's not impossible, you do have some challenges, he decides to go even harder to make it even more difficult by saying, oh, I also worked in the porn industry. To which she's dumbfounded, like, would you really say that during a real interview? Because he's clearly just trying to ruin this. He doesn't want a real working job outside of YouTube or anything.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
He makes that super clear with this phone call.
He wants to fail, so he said, I tried that, and then that's why I'm not doing it.
Violent crimes or sexual crimes have to be...
Hey, Mike. Listen, dude. I know we're making this documentary and everything, and I know you think I need to get a real job, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to. I'm not going to walk into some job when I have 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm one of the original YouTubers. What I'm going to do instead is go back to making content.
Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Good job. Yeah, so, I mean, things aren't great. People are still mad at me on YouTube. That fucking ego is infuriating. One of the OG YouTubers, I can't just get a fucking job. This is ridiculous. 4 million subscribers on YouTube. That's for plebeians, not for Boogie. At one point in this documentary, he mentions that he must have, like, covert narcissism or something, and he absolutely is a narcissist. 100%. Like, I'm not a medical professional or anything. Like, I can't actually diagnose it, but everything that is showcased in this documentary feels like it's narcissistic personality disorder. What's crazy is I haven't even touched on the saddest parts of the documentary. The bits and pieces I've loosely touched on in this video here don't even make up what I believe is the hardest to stomach portions of the documentary. Mike Klum and the team really did an incredible job with this piece. So again, if you're at all interested, check it out. No part of him that seems to actually want to change for the better. He just views it as he's already defeated.
So he's just going to
We'll watch it
continue
later.
being self-destructive, I guess. When I don't understand it. There is still so much opportunity and time for him to actually improve his life. And over the last 5 or 6 years, he's talked about that a lot, about how he's going to do this, that, and get better at this and that. And he just doesn't. He just refuses to. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I just finished the documentary. We also talked about it on the podcast. That'll be up on the official YouTube.
Chad, there seems to be sorry, guys, I hope this is not going to get me canceled, okay? Something I've just noticed a lot of people that have a lot of status that are obese or of big size, right? Things take a weird turn. I'm just saying, by density, right, of let's say these people
xQc
compared to the general people that have status, it's just I think there's the density. Okay, good one, Chen. Whatever it is.
Channel sometime in the next couple days. It's just sad. It's just fucking unbelievably sad. Like many others, I was a fan of Boogie2988 years ago. And to see the mask fully come off and you get to actually see who he is as a person is shocking.
Red Octagon.
But anyway, yeah, that's about it.
Red Octagon.
So, yeah.
Right now, Red Octagon, come through.
I enjoyed
Red
that.
Octagon, we're doing